2FA. It requires a simple second piece of information before someone can log into your account. For example, using 2FA, you may be asked for your password plus a unique and ever-changing security code that gets sent to your phone. So unless a potential hacker has both your password and your mobile phone, it's
Mr.
nearly impossible for them to break into your
Messi,
account. Most social networks now support two-factor authentication, and we highly recommend you enable it. Let's take a look at two-factor authentication on Facebook. First, open your Facebook app. Then go to Settings by tapping the three bars in the lower right corner. From there, tap Security. Then check the Login Approvals On box. You'll be taken to a new page where you'll tap the Start Setup button. You'll get a text message with a special code. Enter this code in the Facebook app to confirm your phone number. That's about it. On to Twitter two-factor authentication. Fire up the Twitter app and tap the Me icon in the lower right corner. From there, tap the gear icon and select Account, followed by Security. Enable login verification, tap the Confirm button, and then tap Start. You'll then enter your phone number and select Send Code. Check your text messages and enter the unique code you'll receive back in the Twitter app to verify yourself. In the future, you'll get a similar code each time you log into Twitter. Fire up the Twitter app. You can also grab a one-time backup code you can use in case you get a new phone. From there, tap the gear number or don't have your phone with you. Write this down and keep it in a safe place. Snapchat also features two-factor login verification. Open up the app, tap the ghost icon at the top of the screen. Then tap Start. From there, tap the gear icon to access your settings code. Check your tap login verification and then tap the Continue button. You can then send a text message to your phone. If you haven't entered your number in the Snapchat app, you'll be able to do that here. Once you get a text message with your login code, return to the app and enter it on the login verification screen. At this point, you're all set. You can generate a backup code as well, just like you did with the Twitter app. Again, keep this code in a safe place. Now what about Instagram? Unfortunately for you and your niece, Instagram doesn't yet have two-factor authentication for all users, but this is supposed to be coming out in the near future, so keep an eye out for it. The process for it will likely be very similar to the processes previously described. And one quick final tip, don't leave your phone unlocked where other people can grab it. That's a surefire way to have one or more of your accounts hijacked.
good evening, everyone. My name is Daniela, and I'll be your presenter for today's threat intelligence seminar. But before we get started, we are going to do our usual security awareness training. So I'm going to play the video one more time for the sake of the people that just joined. And after we answer the questions, and then we start our session for today. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Doug with the product team here at Sophos, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to protect your social media accounts. Good news, it's pretty easy to do. Now think about what you'd do if one or more of your social media accounts got hijacked, not by your prankster niece, but by legitimate cyber criminals. Whether you're sharing your Instagram posts with your family or a YouTube channel with tens of thousands of subscribers, most of us would freak out big time if our accounts were hacked. Even Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, Mr. Social Media himself, was the victim of account hijacking after his account password was acquired by criminals. Now let's not trip over the couch though. This is a really easy, really secure method for protecting your accounts against potential hijackers, including your niece. It's called two-factor authentication, also known as 2FA. It requires a simple second piece of information before someone can log into your account. For example, using 2FA, you may be asked for your password plus a unique and ever-changing security code that gets sent to your phone. So unless a potential hacker has both your password and your mobile phone, it's nearly impossible for them to break into your account. Most social networks now support two-factor authentication, and we highly recommend you enable it. Let's take a look at two-factor authentication on Facebook. First, open your Facebook app. Then go to Settings by tapping the three bars in the lower right corner. From there, tap Security. Then check the Login Approvals On box. You'll be taken to a new page where you'll tap the Start Setup button. You'll get a text message with a special code. Enter this code in the Facebook app to confirm your phone number. That's about it. On to Twitter two-factor authentication. Fire up the Twitter app and tap the Me icon in the lower right corner. From there, tap the gear icon and select Account, followed by Security. Enable login verification, tap the Confirm button, and then tap Start. You'll then enter your phone number and select Send Code. Check your text messages and enter the unique code you'll receive back in the Twitter app to verify yourself. In the future, you'll get a similar code each time you log into Twitter. You can also grab a one-time backup code you can use in case you get a new phone, change your phone number, or don't have your phone with you. Write this down and keep it in a safe place. Snapchat also features two-factor authentication. Open up the app and tap the ghost icon at the top of the screen. From there, tap the gear icon to access your settings menu. Tap Login Verification and then tap the Continue button. You can then send a text message to your phone. If you haven't entered your number in the Snapchat app, you'll be able to do that here. Once you get a text message with your login code, return to the app and enter it on the login verification screen. At this point, you're all set. You can generate a backup code as well, just like you did with the Twitter app. Again, keep this code in a safe place. Now what about Instagram? Unfortunately for you and your niece, Instagram doesn't yet have two-factor authentication for all users, but this is supposed to be coming out in the near future, so keep an eye out for it. The process for it will likely be very similar to the processes previously described. And one quick final tip, don't leave your phone unlocked where other people can grab it. That's a surefire way to have one or more of your accounts hijacked.
Okay, so now since we're done watching the video, I'm going to fast forward it to the questions and then we answer them. Okay, please, can anyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to read out the question. If you know the correct answer to it, or even if you want to try, you give it a try and then we take it from there. So the first question says, it is not important to set up two-factor authentication for social media accounts you rarely use. True or false?
False.
Okay, so the next question says, it's asking why is two-factor authentication an effective security method? The first option reads, because two pieces of information are harder to remember than one. The second one says because hijackers do not target social media accounts. The third one says because it relies on something you know, like a password, and something you have, like your mobile device. And the last one says because SMS stands for secure messaging system. It's basically asking why two-factor authentication is an effective security method. So which of the option do you think is correct? Any other person? Anyone?
Can you come again?
The question is asking why two-factor authentication is an effective security method. And the options are below. The first one says because it's two pieces of information and they are harder to remember than one. The other one says because hijackers do not target social media accounts. The last but one says because the two-factor authentication relies on something you know, like a password, and something you have, like a mobile phone. And the last one says because the two-factor authentication, SMS stands for secure messaging system. So which one do you think is the most accurate for this question? Pardon?
C.
Can you please? Okay. So we all agree with that. If there are no suggestions, we're moving on to the second one. Sorry, the third one. So the third question says, which of these is a good second factor? Which of these is a good second factor? The first one is your SMS phone number. Second option is a unique ever-changing security code that is sent to your mobile device. The third one is a captcha. And then the last one is your mother's maiden name.
B.
Okay. Any other submission? All right. So the last but one question is asking that if you use a two-factor authentication, is it still important to lock your phone when it is not in use?
Yes.
And then the last question is asking that what does 2FA stand for? A, two-factor application, B, two-factor authentication, and C, two firewall authorization or two-factor authentication.
It's D.
D, two-factor authentication. Okay, so let's complete this previous we have here. Okay, we have 100%. So thank you so much to everyone that contributed. Okay, so today we'll be talking about Sophos email security tool. I know most of you already know about it, but for the sake, we're all here to learn, and for the sake of the new people that are here today, I'm here to take you through the Sophos email security tool. Basically, the Sophos email security tool is a tool that helps organizations or individuals to avoid getting unsolicited emails. And what the Sophos email tool does is that it checks if the email that is being sent is by a recognized source or not. If they realize that the email that is being sent to the organization's network is not from a recognizable source, what it does is that it either quarantines it up or locks it up. And it all depends on the person who is in charge of the Sophos tool. They are being given the opportunity to set up policies, and they include however they want the system or the tool to work with. This same tool can also be used to allow or block domain names, IP addresses, or some specific email addresses. To also keep a very close eye on all incoming and then outgoing emails so that you can monitor each and every of your employees, the kind of emails that are sent in and then out of the organization. So before we get started, I'm going to log into my Sophos account, and then I'll quickly run you through how to either allow or block email addresses, IP addresses, and also how to set up your own policy and then put in the kind of keywords that you need it to work with. So can you give me a minute whilst I log into this tool? Thank you. Yeah, please, can my screen be seen? Because I think it's coming up now.
No, I can't see your screen.
Please bring a minute. Please, can it be seen now?
No, my end, I can't see it. I don't know for the others.
Yeah, it's coming up now. These comments can be seen.
Yeah, we can see it now.
It's a bit dark. Let me change the interface and everything. Okay. So when you open the Sophos email security tool, this is the central dashboard. And today what we'll be looking at is email protection. So the first thing that we'll be doing today is to learn how to block an email address. So let's say you work with an organization and then you are on the cybersecurity team, and then you receive a ticket from an employee that they've been receiving an email. They've been receiving spams from a particular email addresses, but sometimes whoever that is in charge of your IT department or the cybersecurity team can forward a link, a file or a folder of email addresses for you to block, because the threat intelligence team found out that these emails are like they have malicious codes embedded in them, and then if any of the employees should have access to it, they are going to infect their assets with virus or a malware. So then they come to you, the person in charge of the email security tool, and then they give you either a couple of lists or just some few emails to block. So when you come to the Sophos email security tool, for instance, the first thing you're supposed to go to is the app automatically opens to the dashboard. When you get to the dashboard, you click on my product and then you navigate to email protection. Please, can my screen be seen? Please, can my screen be seen? Hello?
Yes.
So when you click on the email protection, now you now go to settings, you click on settings. That is where it gives you the option to allow inbound, block, or allow. So when you click on settings, this is the first thing that you're going to see on your extreme right under the email security. It's called the inbound, allow, or block. So over here, you navigate to this panel of the interface. And then if you've been asked to block a particular email address, you click on the allow block and then you put in the email address over here. You copy and paste the email address over here. And this override duplicate, it means if you've already blocked the email address before and you've still been given it, or you've done something similar, like you've had a similar instance with that particular email, you just click on the override duplicate. But in this case, I'm going to send an email from my private email address to my work email address. But before I do that, I'm going to block my private email address on here so that when I send the email address, we'll find out if indeed I'm going to receive the email that I'm sending from my private email address to the organization email address. So over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to type in my personal email address that I use. I've done this before, so I just click on override duplicate and click on save. Mind you, if you are given a list of email addresses, as I said earlier on, if you've been tasked to block a lot of emails and you've been given a list of email addresses, it is quite exhausting to be doing it one by one. So if the list that they've given you is over 200 or over 300 or even over 50, you just come to import, allow, or block. You click on browse, and then over here you can choose to type the email or have the list of the emails in the notepad, so that when you come in, you just navigate and then you click on the notepad documents and then you just put it from here, so that you do not have to be doing it one by one. And automatically realize that when you do that, all the list of emails that were on the notepad will be blocked over here. So it's going to take a while, just like a minute or two, to reflect that my email address has been blocked over here, and then we take it from there. So before that, I'm going to try and send an email from my private email address to my work email address. So please, can you see my screen? Hello.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. So I've sent the email to my to my work email address. So now I'm going to my web mail to check if I have received the sorry. So I'm going to my work email to see if I have received the email address. So I'm refreshing. This is my work web mail. So I'm refreshing my inbox one more time to see if I have indeed received the email address. I'm going to do it one more time. So now I'm going back to my Google Mail to check if indeed the message was sent. And if it wasn't sent, that's when we realized that the blocking that I did had actually taken effect. Okay. Okay, so this is it. This is the email that I tried sending to my work email address. And then it says the message was not delivered. There was a problem delivering your message to Daniela Pinin at soft@free.info. Yes, so if you do it and then you actually get it, that means whatever thing that you did in Sophos has taken effect. So this is basically how you block. It is quite easy how you block email addresses using the Sophos email security tool. Please, then, do you have any questions regarding this? The blocking of email or IP addresses and domains. Okay, if not, so now that we blocked it, I'm going to do one where I'm going to allow the Sophos email to allow me to send an email from my private email
Danny,
address
I have a
to.
question. Hello, can you hear
Please
me?
go ahead. Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
At what point is it necessary for one to block an email address? Because you're just talking about blocking email address. At what point will it be necessary for one to block an email address?
Okay, so with that, especially if you are working with an organization, for instance, I assume they have a threat intelligence team in place. So a group or a list of malicious email addresses or IP addresses or domain, this would be on the open source on the internet. So your threat intelligence team would then forward it to the cybersecurity team that, hey, somebody fell a victim to infecting their organization's network with malicious attack from these websites. So they will forward it to your organization. The threat intelligence team will forward it to the organization, and whoever that is in charge of the tool would be also made to block these email addresses so that whenever the cyber attack even thinks of doing that, their email addresses have already been blocked. So the employee of that particular company is not going to have it in the first place. And also it is used to prevent employees or customers from receiving unsolicited email addresses. So all those phishing emails and those spams emails, this is the point where may be asked, or whoever that is in charge of it may be asked to use the supposed email security to block email addresses. This is well understood.
Absolutely. Now, saying that, is there a possibility where a genuine email address that doesn't need to be blocked could be blocked? And if that's the case, what would you do? Or in a cybersecurity settings, what is normally done about issues like that?
Okay, so in that in that aspect, I was about to move to that level, but since you've asked it, I'm already going to demonstrate it to you. So normally when Sophos identifies that it is a tool, and then it can automatically even identify a genuine email coming through the organization to be like to have a malicious intent. And then when it does that, they quarantine those emails. And they do that because probably whoever that's in charge of the tool set up a policy and place certain keywords in the policy that if they realize that if an email that is coming from an unrecognizable source have any of these keywords, should either quarantine it or even prevent, or can be sent to the recipients of the email, but it is going to warn the recipients of the email that where this source of email is coming from cannot be trusted. So it's either you go ahead to click on whatever attachment it came with or not. So I'm going to quickly run you through how to release quarantine emails. As you are saying, if a genuine email has been quarantined, I'm going to quickly run you through how you're going to do that. Normally, if you're an employee of a company and then you're expecting an email from somebody and the person assures you that he or she has sent the email, and then you realize that you've still not received the email, it is best for you to have to create a ticket to the cybersecurity team, especially whoever is in charge of this email security tool, and then tell the person that you're expecting an email from maybe Mr. Green or Mr. Red, and the person has confirmed that he has sent it but not received it. So that is where they are going to quickly unblock, or sorry, they're going to quickly release the email for you. And then if they realize that this is somebody that you are going to be interacting with from day-to-day basis, they're going to release and then allow the email to be sent to you from that particular person all the time. So I'm going to demonstrate that one to you too. Is the question answered?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So, all right. So with regards to how to use quarantine emails, it is quite simple. So under the email protection pop-up menu, you just navigate to quarantine email. And as I was saying, that's what I was saying. See, these are emails that we received in our database today. Today is first me, and then the Sophos email has quarantined all this email. So if, let's say, this email is, the recipient of this email is Emmanuel Gaban. So let's say Emmanuel Gaban is actually expecting an email from shop at marketing ID me to get it. And then he has not received it. And he reaches out to me that, hey, Danny, I'm looking forward to this email from shop marketing ED with the subject Mother's Day savings or something. So, and he assures me that the email had actually been sent according to the sender of the email. So I'll just quickly run on here, navigate through the emails for that particular day. The date is very important. The person is supposed to give you the date that he or she was expecting the email to be received. So I just go through that particular date. So in this case, Emmanuel tells me that he was expecting an email on 1st May, and the person says he or she sent it around 4:00 p.m. So I come on here and I do realize that, okay, so there's only one email that was coming in on, that came in today, and it is between the stipulated time for 4 a.m. and it came in at 3 a.m. And that is, as you're seeing, that is aside that we have three other emails. And but when I look through, I do realize that but when I look through, I do realize that what the subject and then the email of the sender that he said matches with this one. It matches it with this one. So quickly I click on this. Sorry, this one right there. I click on this, and then there is an option here allowing me to just release this email to Emmanuel, just release this particular email. And then there's another option allowing me to release and allow, meaning from henceforth, if I do click on the release and allow, whenever the sender wants to send email to Emmanuel Gaban, Emmanuel Gaban doesn't have to reach out to me to ask me to release his email, because I have chosen or have ticked the release and allow email option. And then if I do realize that, oh, okay, so there's actually a malicious, it's an email that contains a malicious intent, I'll do that delete. And also I could also delete and block a particular email address or IP address, so that the person would never ever even given the opportunity to send malicious email address or any other thing to the person. So this is how briefly you use and allow or release quarantine email. Please, is there any other question regarding this aspect?
Okay, I have a question.
Please go on, I'm listening.
So had it been
Please,
that
you can go on, I'm listening. Yes, I can hear you. You can speak now.
had it been that you have received about 500 messages and then emails, and then you said you identified the date and then you scanned through. So had it been that you have received more than 500, or let's say 500 emails, do you go through one after the other, or there's another way of using the email you want to figure out whether it has been blocked?
Can you speak up? Your line is breaking. I can't really make out what you're saying.
Okay, so I'm saying, can you hear me now?
You're a bit far from your device, I guess. Can you try talking again?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better now.
Okay, so I'm saying you mentioned that the date of the date the email has been sent is also important. So now you have been given the date, and then had it been you have received about 500 emails on that day, You just go through one after the. There's another way to filter that email out.
Yeah, there's an advanced search right here. Sorry. Advanced search over here. So if you give me the sender's name and then your email address too, so I could just simply just type it over here, and the list of the emails that I've received from even that particular person, whether it's the day before or the day after, they are all going to line up here. So I'll just tap on it and then I'll release it for. I hope it's self-explanatory. Like there's actually an advanced search here to make it easier for you to navigate your way through the email, especially when it's quite a lot, or the emails that have been coming in and out of your organizational network are quite many. Are you okay?
Yes, thank you.
Well, see, time is not really on our side, so I'm going to quickly run you through the last thing. That is
Yeah,
the
Danny,
policy
before you do
setup.
that, real quick, you've spoken much about the defense side of what you have to do when we get malicious emails coming through. Let's talk about how these cyber criminals are able to even gather email addresses and to even send out emails. Can you throw a few lights on how these cyber criminals are able to even come up with this idea of coming up with email addresses where they can actually identify that, okay, there is a possibility where I could send emails that could make it to these people that work at this organization, and there's a possibility somebody might click on a link where they might succeed in what they're trying to do in terms of compromising accounts.
I don't really get your question. Can you say it one more time?
All right, what I'm saying is more of thinking on the attack side of security. What are some of the things that cyber criminals take into consideration before they make these attacks? How do they even come up with these email addresses, and how do they know that these email addresses might even be valid if they send malicious emails to, and there will be a possibility somebody might click on it to have their account compromised?
Okay, so personally, what I think is that before a cyber attacker plans to attack a particular organization, they do their research. Yes, they actually, some of them actually understudy their company for a very long time. And also certain times where these email addresses or these important details of certain people in the community may be sold on the dark web without the threat intelligence team not knowing about it. So they could simply hop on the try and then send email addresses to these emails. So any of them, any person that clicks on it is cool. I also know that normally, especially with the foreign cyber attack, some of them they do typically like target those real estate companies, and then they have a wide they have database where email addresses of these people or these employees in the companies are being kept. So whenever they would want to attack that particular company, they could simply just put in their email addresses and then send them an email with a malicious intent behind, so that if just one employee clicks on it, they would simply get access to the organization's confidential data. Yes, and then I think the email addresses too of organizations. I mean, as I'm sitting here, I do know that a couple of people know my email address, because email addresses are it's not something that you can actually hide to get it, because whenever you are interacting as a company, if I work for a company and then I'm interacting with, let's say I'm part of the customer report team, and I'm supposed to send email addresses to my clients. Obviously, it is not something that is it's a secret, or it is not disclosed to the general public. So I feel like it is easier for them to find their way when it comes to getting email addresses. Getting an email address is not the problem, but the only thing that they would need is for them to have access to your credentials. So if they're able to send you their malicious email, it's the intent behind it is for you to click on it so that they can gain access to your credentials. So I don't think like having they possessing your email address is something that they find it difficult to do, since we all put our email addresses out there, especially even if I'm looking for a job or something. The probability of me the probability of me putting my email address on the various job sites or links site, because that is the only way that they can reach out to me, then offer me whatever that I'm looking for. I hope in a way it answers your question.
Yes, it does. Everything you said was absolutely correct. But there was one more I'm going to add to all that you said. And one of the easiest way these cyber criminals are able to gather these social media, especially LinkedIn, for instance. If I am trying to target a company like Sony, and I happen to know their domain name is sony.com, I can go onto the Sony page on LinkedIn and see all the employees that work with Sony. And all I have to know is maybe their email credential, how they go about it. Is it like first name underscore last name at sony.com? Or is it a first name, letter, plus a last name? I mean, depending on which format they're using for their emails. So if I have 1,000 people on a Sony page, all I have to do is just put their names together. So first name underscore last name, if that's the format they have. And then I could create email addresses for all these people. And I end up sending emails to all these 1,000 people. And at least I'm looking forward to just one person to click on a link where I could compromise their networks. So that is one that I just wanted to add to the list that you did. Thanks.
You're welcome. Please, is there any other question before we move on to the last thing for the day? All right. Please, can my screen be seen? Please, can my screen be seen?
Yes. Can.
Okay, so moving on, Sophos email security tool is also a type of tool that we can actually use to protect the intellectual property of a company. Do you get it? So as normally in an organization, employees shouldn't be able to send emails from their work email to their private email addresses, because if the company handles intellectual property, like let's say it's a publishing company, for instance, and they work with manuscripts, people's writings, and then all that, an employee of that company can decide to transfer or send a manuscript or a confidential information that is supposed to be only known to, let's say, the top level management, to his or her email address, and then we don't want that to happen. So the best tool for us to handle that particular thing is the Sophos security tool. How do we do that? So over here, you just navigate to policies on the, so here you set up a policy, and then you select the number or the kind of people that you want the policy to apply to, whether the internal, like the people that are within the organization, or maybe outsiders. So over here, when creating the policy, they would ask you how you want your policy to be created. So let's say if you want the system to prevent people from sending a particular file, let's say classified information, you can input the keyword so that when the system realizes that an individual or an employee is trying to send an email to his private network or to his private email address, because you already set up a policy and then you put in certain keywords, the tool is going to prevent that individual from sending that email that contain that particular keywords or whatever that you put out there that you say that you should look out for when there's an email transmission. But I've said a lot of things, but I'm going to demonstrate it for you. see what I'm trying to say. So over here, you just come to policies under the email security. This is I'm going to show you how you can quickly create a policy. Then you click on add policy. Over here, they're going to ask you the kind of policy that you want to create. So you navigate to email security, then you click on continue. Yes, so over here it's asking you if you have, it's asking you whether you want to include or you have a particular list of people that you want this policy to apply to, or maybe you have a list of people that you don't want that particular policy to apply to. So this is where you input that. So whether if you have a list of external email addresses that you want to include in the policy, you can check it over here. And then if you also have a list of external email addresses you want to include in the policy, you can also check it over here. But before everything, you would have to come up with a policy name. So anything that comes to mind at that particular moment, you have to do it the formal way. So let me just pick it. Email test policy. So over here, they're going to ask you the kind of you are being asked to, you'll be given the opportunity to add certain rules to the policy that you are trying to take. So over here, you realize that sometimes when somebody sends a message to you, they can actually, you can actually set the policy in such a way that they will be given the opportunity to caution you that, hey, this email that is coming in, or this email that you received, it has been suspected, like they suspected the email of having this malicious intent behind it. So when you're creating the policy, this is one of the features that you can either choose to add to or not. Right. Yeah. Sorry, I think this one escaped me. Also, if in the within the organization, pretty sure that a particular group or department, various departments that are within the organization. So if let's say um um the you work in the publishing industry, for instance, as I said, and the people that normally handle the manuscripts are the editors, like the chief editors, the illustrators, and then what have you. So if they belong to a particular um, if they belong to a particular group, you can, and they are being, that group is already in the system, you can quickly check that group for them to be added to the policy without you having to add like or type the email addresses by one. So that is it for this one. Please give me a minute.
All right, in the meantime, our presenter is facing a few challenges. She's trying to get them sorted and join us in here soon. Wait for her for a few minutes and hope she joins us soon. All right, but as we wait for her, do we have any questions? If we have any questions, the floor is opened. You can come up with your questions. I believe we have some experts in to answer them. Yeah, the floor is opened. Any questions from us? Okay. Any questions or contributions? Okay. So as we wait for her, do we have any questions? Floor is open for questioning. All right, so if we do not have any questions or love to come in, I'm sure a greater part of her presentation has already been done. Okay, so I'd love to say a big thank you to all our attendees for today, all those who have joined us here on Teams. All those who have joined us here on Teams and on all our social media handles. We are super excited and truly delighted to receive you here today. And for the purpose of our first timers, we are SoftAfric, a leading IT and cybersecurity company. All right, so in today's digital world, cybersecurity is not just a necessity. It's a fundamental pillar of protection for businesses and individuals alike. Introducing SoftAfric Cybersecurity Plus course, a comprehensive 4-month online program designed to equip you with the skills and knowledge needed to safeguard against cyber threats. So, led by industry experts, this course offers in-depth training on the latest cybersecurity techniques, tools, and best practices. This course will exceed all your expectations. You will never think you can learn so much just in 4 months. So some of the key areas covered in our course include cyber threat landscape, security fundamentals, network security, web security, endpoint security, incident response, security governance and compliance, ethical hacking and penetration testing, security awareness training, and emerging technologies and threats. These are just to mention a few. There are so many much more areas covered in our course. The weekend schedule is perfect. You can balance your job and personal life while advancing your career in cybersecurity. So whether you're a seasoned IT professional looking to specialize or a newcomer to the field, Soft Africa Cybersecurity Plus course is your pathway to success. A student enrolled in Cybersecurity Plus course can look forward to a range of perks designed to enhance their learning experience and support their career growth in cybersecurity. So some of these perks include expert instruction, interactive learning, flexible schedule, practical hands-on exercises, networking opportunities, career support, certification preparation, lifetime access to course materials, and community support. These perks combined to create a rewarding and enriching learning experience that equips students with the skills, knowledge, and connections needed to succeed in the field of cybersecurity. You are enrolled today and take the first step towards a secure future. You can contact us by visiting our website at portal.softafrica.net or through our various social media handles. You can find us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Our TIS, that's Threat Intelligence Seminar, session happens same time every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 4 p.m. Greenwich Meridian Time. We also have an orientation every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time or 5 p.m. Greenwich Meridian Time. In fact, we invite all of you to join in there to learn more about what happens in our course and have an experience or a feel of what we do. Before I go, I think our presenter is still not back. We'd like to close off for the day, but before I go, all right, he's in. Yeah, Daniela, we can hear you. You can go ahead.
Hello.
Daniela, we can hear you.
Hello. Please, I really apologize for my network problems. I will do well to catch up and finish what I started next week, God willing, Wednesday. I apologize once again for my network interruptions. Thank you.
All right, thank you too. So I believe our boss is here. If you would love to add any words before we close for today. Senior, would you love to add any words?
I really don't have much to say, but I'll say thank you all for making the time. And also, that was a brilliant presentation. Let's keep it up. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you too. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in today. We hope to see you again and again. See you same time next week. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.